Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for an informative and exciting CLIA Global Cruise Line webinar with Windstar Cruises. My name is Johanna de Guzman. I'm the Manager of Industry Relations for North American Travel Trade Membership here at CLIA, and I'm quickly going to go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. The webinar will run for about 40 to 45 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we will get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted to CLIA's YouTube channel, CLIA Global. It is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Ward Reed. Give me one moment, sorry about that. And with that, take it away, Reed, or Ward.
No worries, guys. Thank you for having me today. Yes, Ward Reed, I'm one of the regional sales managers here. We have 4 of us across the nation, but if you want anything, I just wanted to put my email and my phone number up there directly for you to take down, because hopefully today's information session will bring up lots of great questions that you'll want to send out to me. And of course, Joanne is also going to, have a little question and answer at the end of here. But you can tell by my funny accent, I have a southern accent, south of the equator in Australia, but I have been in the US since 2005, working in the travel industry, and here I am at Windstar Cruises, and just want to help you out today with, who are our clients, what guests are best suited, and ways that you can be successful with our company and our brand. We always like to say from the start that Windstar Cruises, we are one brand with 2 products. So as you'll see there, for those that know us, and not to be redundant, but we started as a sailing company 35 years ago in Tahiti. That's what we're best known for. Beautiful sailings down there, and those sailing vessels, we have 3 of those on the right. But then progressively, we wanted to move into the private yacht experience. So we purchased 3 of these old seaborne vessels and made them our own. So just to run through the fleet quickly, because it is important that you choose the right vessel for the right client. So we like to say, choose the vessel first and then find your itinerary. So here's the iconic Windstar, 350 guests. It is the largest sailing ship in the world. And so you can always immediately imagine the client that we're attracting here. They probably own a boat. They probably do a lot of, local boating in their area. But when they travel on vacation, they still want to have that sailing nautical experience, but they want to be pampered. So that's where we come in. So that's the 350 vessel. Then we have 2 of the smaller vessels, the Windstar and the Windspirit, at only 150. So you can see we certainly are on the small side of the spectrum, which allows us enormous benefits, as you can imagine, getting to places that the others can't go. Then, as I mentioned, we bought the 3 seaborne ships and did a stretch. So we basically refurbished these in 2020. So they are almost new vessels. As of 2020, we have the Breeze, the Legend, and the Pride, holding 312 guests. So again, falling into that small yacht number. We love this tagline. We whisper luxury, we don't shout it. We want to be very understated. We want to be known for casual elegance or low-key luxury. And we like to say that the itineraries are planned with an enormous amount of authenticity, which means we love cultural immersion to the destinations we're going to. Of course, being a smaller vessel, we can go to where the crowds aren't there. So this freedom aspect of our program is very important. Also, we love to be nimble. If there's port congestion or weather, we can swing around our days and accommodate our guests' needs as we go along, which is very important for planning in a changing world. Now, this is one of my favorite slides. When I started with the company, I met one of the captains. I was on survey on one of the trips, and I went up to the bridge and spent some time with him. And I asked, what does Windstar mean to you? And the captain said, well, I'll give you this slide, and this is what you want to present to your advisors. Here we are up in Alaska. You don't see any other boat between us and that glacier because we're the smallest one that can get in close. Now in the water, you'll see 8 or 9 kayaks. So on this day, got in nice and close. The captain got people out into the water. He took a little break. He went down to our yacht club, which is our little cafe lounge area. And he noticed 2 ladies in the corner that were hugging in an embrace, but they were crying. And he thought, oh, I better do my captain duty here. He went over and said, ladies, do I need to get the doctor? Is everyone okay? And they said, oh, yes, Captain, we're just crying in jubilation. We just never thought that we'd have an experience like this in our life. And we heard you on the loudspeaker saying how difficult it was to get in here around the icicles. But you finally got us in there, and we just love this day. So my point of that story is, where it's the captain or the crew cleaning your room, it's a real community feel on here, and you'll get to know everyone on the boat. So our crew ratio, for every 3 guests, we have 2 crews. So that means on day 1, they're going to know your name. They're going to know what drink you like and what you want for dinner, basically. They'll also remember that last cocktail you had the night before that you'd forgotten about. So attentiveness or anticipating needs is very important. At the same time, our crew is so wonderful, they know when to give you space. They know when to lean out because you've come on vacation and your clients are looking for relaxation, so they know that as well. Now, there's a lot of inclusions in Windstar, and this is one of our big misperceptions. Here is a slide of 15 things that are automatically included, whether it be, filtered water in your room, some robes, the entertainment, shoreside excursion activities, complimentary gym. That's all there, but I want to focus on some that really separate us apart from the other cruise lines. Our lounge is the place where our entertainment happens. Now, our entertainment is 180 degrees from ordinary. We don't have a zip line. We don't have a raceway. We don't have a water slide. And here is a great example. This is our crew. These are our room attendants who actually do a synchronized swimming demonstration on stage. I'm still laughing about it when I first saw it. And they thoroughly convince you that they can do a synchronized swimming on stage. That's just a tease. You'll have to go and see it. But my point is, the crew, not only do they work in the day, they love to come out and do the entertainment, and it's very engaging. We also have live entertainment with music and shore talks, or port talks as we like to call them. And there will also be a variety of other, traditional activities and fun games that our entertainment manager will engage you while you're on the cruise. Now, the other thing that Windstar includes are our Windstar Discovery events. I just want to show one example today. It's here in Turkey. It's the Ephesus Discovery event. You see this beautiful old structure here. All those people sitting down there are Windstar guests only. We literally hire out this venue for the night. Up in the middle, you'll see there's a string quartet that plays music, and you actually enjoy your dinner as the sun's going down in this beautiful environment. And this is just set aside for Windstar clients. So on all of our itineraries, we'll have one of these days, or what we call our discovery event. Now, as I mentioned on board, no zip line, no raceway, no water slide. We have 2 jacuzzis, one right up the front of the boat, and this beautiful pool and deck area here. But what we're known for is our water sports platform. So as you can imagine, we're taking you to these beautiful places, the Mediterranean, the Caribbean. You're on the water. We want to get you in the water. So off the back, we have a water sports platform where you can do stand-up paddleboarding, do some kayaking, or like we'd say in Australia, just lollygagging around on some lily pads. So this is a lovely way to really enjoy your extra time, just willowing away at the water's edge there. I mentioned that when I started with the company, I had the privilege of going up to the bridge. Now, this is not just for me. This is open for all our public. This is an amazing experience because a lot of our discerning clients have an interest in navigation, or they have an interest in engineering, or, if they're ship owner or boat owners themselves, they want to know about the equipment. And our captain and crew is very endearing and wants you to come in, bring a coffee, bring a croissant, come and speak with them and enjoy time up there. Now, this is absolutely included. Some other cruise lines will charge you for this privilege. We don't. It's absolutely just a part of the onboard experience. Now, when it comes to food, we're very proud to be the official cruise line of the James Beard Foundation. Now, James Beard, for those that don't know, is a group of chefs, critiques, and restaurateurs who are very passionate about farm to table, as we are with our programs here. So much so that we actually have a plant-based menu as well as our traditional menu, and we cater to gluten-free, dairy, all the allergens or eating requirements that your clients might have. Please bring them our way. We can absolutely adapt and be accommodating to them. So much so that we are involved in the food process here, that we want you to go shopping with our chef. We believe that while we're in this destination, we may as well shop there and fill up the boat so that you not only feel and see the destination, you get to taste the destination. So on most mornings in port, the captain will go around, the chef will go around in the morning and say, hey, I need to go into the markets. Would you like to come with us? And you can go and actually help them shop for the provisions. Now, when it comes to the dining experience, we want to say that we're understated. We want you to be casual and feel like you're in a casual environment, dress as you are, come as you are, but the service is definitely of a 5-star standard. So it's understated elegance is how we like to describe it. Now, because of that James Beard Foundation relationship, we do have some celebrity guest sailings. We have a lot of wine pairing sailings. So anything specific around food, if there's an interest there, please reach out to me individually. I can direct you into those specific tours. But having said that, the minimum standard on every sailing is absolutely fantastic. Just to give you a quick rundown of restaurant options, the Amphora, our main dining room. Now this holds up to 200 people, but we don't take reservations. You just turn up, we open it at 6 o'clock and then stay open until the last person leaves, basically. There's no set dining tables, there's no set menus. The menu actually changes every day. So it really is just a absolute free revolving independent restaurant, if you like. Then for those looking something a bit more casual, up on the top deck, you can have an al fresco barbecue style buffet, which is absolutely fantastic. And again, a lovely opportunity to sit out outside when you're up there. Then we have our signature restaurant. Now, most important, there's no upcharges for our signature restaurant here. The Quadro 44 does only seat 30 people, and you do have to make a reservation when you're on board because we want to make sure everyone gets to have it. But you can see over in the left-hand side there, it's an open style Spanish tapas meal. It's a lovely European feel that goes on for, 2 or 3 hours if you want to just linger there and stay. It's a lovely restaurant. But again, as our signature restaurant, no upcharges on that program. Then when we come to breakfast, we do use our Veranda Cafe, which is a lovely area to dine in the mornings. But then in the evening, what we do is we transition this to the Candles restaurant, which becomes a signature steak and seafood. Again, delightful al fresco dining. Just imagine yourself in the beautiful Mediterranean breeze sitting out here having your dinner. So plenty of unique and varied options. Then, of course, every cruise line has its early risers and its 24-hour snackers. So the Yacht Club has a cafe with pastries and everything available there as well. Now, let me take you into a quick dive into the rooms. Now, we're very simple here with our offering. Our minimum room here is 277 square feet. The ocean view, you can see it's partitioned into 2 rooms. You've got a little sitting room there looking out to the ocean. Then you have your bed. Now you can also switch it around. If you prefer to have your bed at the window, then you select the Star Ocean View Suite. And then, of course, the main room that people like to be in is our star balcony. Again, it's the same size, 277 square feet, but you'll see there it has the Juliet or French balcony there. And of course, our bathrooms. I am amazed how much great feedback we get for having 2 sinks in there so that everyone can get ready at the same time when you're trying to get ready for dinner. We also have a walk-in robe, which has for all your clothes, and of course has a bathrobe and slippers in there for you. Now, for clients that are looking for something more discerning or the upgrades on our program, we have 3 for you to step up to. The Broadmoor Suite, as you can see, a beautiful large living area and a larger dining area as well as bigger bedroom. And then the Sea Island Suite up at the aft of the boat with these gorgeous views out through the front windows there. That's the second upgrade. And then the big, or the Grand Poobah, is our Grand Owner's Suite at 1,300 square feet. This is a lovely, lovely experience. And you'll see there, you have a full balcony. So that is the big difference between this and the staterooms, is you have a full balcony in these 3 room categories. Now, when you're out there thinking, okay, who is Windstar really suited for? As a travel advisor, I can help you straight away by saying if you've got people that have loved their river cruises, you should be suggesting Windstar as their ocean itinerary option. They will be very delighted to think, oh yes, I'm very familiar with small ships and this fits what they're looking for. We also have those sailing sophisticates that have done a lot of the big programs, or the bigger ships as we like to call them, but now they're looking for something more small, intimate, with a different itinerary. They are the ones to come to. And then there's this third unique one. These are the active explorers. They're your first time cruisers because you've been booking them on FIT self-drives to France, for example, where they've hired a car, they've driven around to B&Bs and all the vineyards, but then on this trip they've come to you and they've said, I don't want to unpack every day like we did on that drive around. So they can come on a cruise where they only have to unpack once and they can still get to the places that they want to go to. And because we have a lot of overnights and a lot of full day stays, they can still do all the activities that they want to do. The solo customer is very important to us. We have a unique program here where we can offer some of our rooms at a 0% supplement. Now, I don't want to oversell that. We don't do that on all the programs, but we do have a sliding scale. So we work with you and say, okay, are there rooms that we can offer a cheaper price for solo single travelers? It's a great program. We're very proud of it. Just to wrap up with some destinations, people want to know, where do we go? Being a small cruise line with only 6 ships, we can't cover the world all the time. So I wanted to give you the information to say that you need to keep in touch with us, because our repeat clients are always determining where we are going next and our new destination. So over 2 to 4 years, we will cover the world, but the itineraries do rotate. The one thing that does not change though is Tahiti. As I mentioned, we started there 36 years ago with our gorgeous sailing boat, the Windstar, and we haven't left. We've had a sailing every single week, and we do year-round departures. So this is a great program, and this is where a lot of first-time Windstar clients will start and then end up doing 8, 9, 10 trips with us. So keep Tahiti in mind as the key destination. But here's some big news breaking just right now, and our president, Mr. Chris Prelog, and Janet Barber, our chief commercial officer, are down in Tahiti as we speak, because we're transitioning out our Wind Spirit to our Star Breeze. Simple reason for this is a commercial decision. We want a double capacity down there. We've got a huge demand, and we want you to have cabins to be able to put people in. So we've moved from that 150 vessel up to the 300 guest vessel, and that all just starts this week, literally. So that's great breaking news. So a typical itinerary is a 7-day itinerary, you know, starting in Papeete in Tahiti and going out to Bora Bora and Moorea and all those beautiful places you've heard of. But we do have an extension to the Tuamotu Islands and the Marquesas. And if people have done their research on this area, then that client will come to you and say, yes, this is what I'm looking for. Please show them our itinerary, and it will be an easy conversion for you. The other big destinations for us is obviously the Mediterranean, both Western and Eastern, some very intense programs. Our most popular one is the Treasures of the Greek Islands, down there in that gorgeous little area that touches Turkey, as I mentioned earlier. And then we also have a winter program, which is running right now, January to March. This is new for us, and we're getting some fantastic feedback. It is the winter, obviously, over there, but there's less crowds. So people are coming in who have done the Mediterranean in the summertime and know how crazy busy it is, and they're like, hey, let's have a different pace. Let's slow it down a bit and do it a little bit differently. And we're going to make this a mainstay on our program. So highlights here are that you get to do an overnight in Rome, one of the greatest cities in the world, so you can spend some good time there. There's also an overnight in Nice, which is a gorgeous part of the world, as we know. And of course, the end point, or the turnaround point, is Barcelona, so we can do an overnight there as well. So definitely something to keep us in mind for the Mediterranean. And again, that vessel is just like the one we have in Tahiti. We are using the Star Legend with the all-suite configuration there. There is a program out at the moment. If you can sell one, you can sail free on that program as well. So limited availability because it's been filling up, but that's one of the benefits to advisors. And I've got a few more at the end to show you. And of course, the third destination is the Caribbean. We cannot be without this gorgeous destination. We're relocating that iconic sailing ship that I showed you at the start. The Windsurf is going to be down there. It's doing a 55-day sailing, which we actually have some customers. They've been with us a long time and they love to repeat. They're doing the whole trip, but you can break this down into 7, 10, 14-day itineraries. Again, if you've got some demand for this area, let me know and I can show you where all the individual programs are. Then, of course, do think of us for the cold destinations. This is our 4th best-selling programs, Iceland and Norway. I had the pleasure of doing the Iceland trip last year. I was just blown away with the culture and the unique people. is just part of it, then you've got this stunning landscape, which is just unforgettable. So if you've got clients who have always wanted to go this area and were never sure how to do it, we've got a great program for them to do it. And then we are expanding out to Canary Islands. We've been there before, but we're going back there. And then also very exciting on the program is going to be South America. So the Galapagos and Machu Picchu. So we always know clients have got people for this part of the world as well. Now, when we talk of being all inclusive, you know, we work in this space where we are a niche operator, boutique, premium if you like, but we do want to offer up a package that'll give guests the very best value for their alcohol package as another inclusion. So you can see at the top there, $89 a day will get your guests unlimited beer, wine, cocktails, Wi-Fi and gratuities all included. Now, I've put the prices of the drinks down there just to give you an idea that basically if your clients are drinking 3 normal alcohol beverages, so a beer, a wine and a cocktail in a day, they're going to be best off slipping into the $89 package, because buying a la carte also incurs the 18% service charge and sometimes a VAT charge as well. Whereas if they're buying the 89, it's all included in there. And the Wi-Fi, that's $35 a day. So if they're not buying that package, they will have to fork out $35 a day. And also there's gratuities or a hotel service fee of $16 per person per day, which never goes to corporate. It stays on the boat and is shared with the crew. Now that's all included in the all-in package, but it would not if you didn't purchase it, and your clients would have to pay for it on board. Let me show you a way to be successful with us. The best thing that you can do is choose a destination and say, I'm going to take a group to Tahiti, and you will get people following you, I can promise you. The great thing about our group program, unlike some others, is we do not block space, so you don't have to put money down. You don't have to pay a pre-deposit, and there's no penalties for not making it. What we are giving you is a guaranteed rate to promote to your clients. And there's 2 programs. We have what we call our STAR program, which is a 5% discount for your group plus $100 shipboard credit. And again, the clients just have to pay as a normal client would, a 15% deposit. Now, if you don't make the minimum number of group, for which on this one is 9 people get the 10th free, it doesn't matter. We'll still honor you the 5% and the $100 shipboard credit. But if you get that trigger, you will get the 10th person, which you can use for you as a leader, or you can use that as commission. Now, right now we have a limited offer, which is amazing. We can actually give you a 10% discount on some of our group programs, and you only have to sell 7 guests to get that 8th tour credit or tour conductor free. And as you can see down the bottom there, you get an additional $100 bonus travel agent commission once you've hit that TC. So anyway, point is, if you're interested in a group and you want to take a group away to somewhere, I'll give you a great example. I had a lady said, I've always wanted to go to Tahiti, Ward. She's having her 20th anniversary there with her husband, and 42 of her very best friends have booked on to the Star Advantage group with her. So it's a very easy way to promote when you're going with them. So you can choose to sail with that group, or if you do want to go, as I said, you can make that an additional commission piece. The way to think about it is just find what you want to do. For Veronica, it was just her anniversary trip that she wanted to do, and everyone wanted to go to Tahiti. But if you've got food interests, if there's a wedding interest, health and wellness, or you know, horse riding, as I've put up there, anything else, bike riders, any other groups, church groups, very popular, come on board as well. So any sort of group of interest you can promote to. And then if you did want to go prior to understanding our product, we do have travel advisor FAM rates available as well. So you could go and experience the ship on your own, and then, you know, we know by then you want to set up a group with us. Just to finish off before question times, I did want to let you know we have a wave season promotion going on right now. So this is for your clients. They can pick a perk. So they can either get some onboard additional credit, or they can choose a free pre or post night hotel. For those premium suites, they can actually get the all-inclusive. That's just in those 3 upgradable cabins. Now, for you as a travel agent, we want to entice you by saying if you book any of those people with those perks, you get $100, whether it be a bonus commission or an Amazon gift card. Now, where you can find all this information is in our advisor hub. It's on the bottom of our main website page, which is windstarcruises.com. You go down to the bottom, click Advisor Hub. Then this is a B2B area where there's collateral. But most importantly, I've put up the things that you should be looking at. Selling Windstar for one, the groups program, which I talked about, and of course the fam trips. They're probably the three most areas to get you started. But just to finish off, what I wanted to say is that if I've piqued anyone's interest in putting a group together, I'd love you to reach out to me and book a 15 or 30-minute appointment with me, and I can take you through the program and show you how to be successful with us, because we are really committed to the travel agent sector. I'll go past the video there, Joe. I've just hit almost 30 minutes there, so I thought I'd love to open up to questions now if we can.
Thank you so much, Ward, for sharing all that information about Windstar Cruises. Our attendees are very actually interested in the different promotions that you guys have going on for the different itineraries. And they're asking questions about any solo supplement details that you have to share with them.
Yeah, and I don't know how I can send that to you if you can send it out. But yeah, there's two. The single solo supplement sits on the website under the specials area, and like I said, there's some programs that we've put 0 on. Okay, so that means a solo traveler can literally go into a room on their own and be paying what, you know, 2 couples would only. And then what we've done is we've asked Yield to give us more rooms that are not selling fast, but we've done them on a sliding scale. So, you know, instead of the traditional 200% that sometimes people are asked to pay if they're traveling solo, they might be at 115 or 140. There's a whole sliding scale, and it's like, I think I'm going to say it's probably 340 sailings on that list. So I can send that out to you, or people can just email me and say, Ward, I want to see that link, and bring it to me, or they can find it in the Advisor Hub as well.
Great. And Ward, can you share that how they get to the advisor link or the advisor hub if they don't know, or if they don't have an account already set up with Windstar?
Yeah, yep, let me go there. Hang on, let me just turn off that camera. I'm going to go back to, you're still seeing my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Okay, guys, so what we do is, the best way to get there is to go into windstarcruises.com, go into our main page, hit our banner in the left. Okay, so we're at the main page there, then go all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see it here. See there, Advisor Hub? Click into there, just
Perfect.
sign up, do a quick registration, and you will go straight into there, and then you'll get this, this area here. And like I said, the best place to go to is the groups program, which I discussed, the fam trips here, which here, just have a look at this real quick.
Oh, great, because they were definitely asking about the travel advisor rates.
Exactly. So you come into the fam trips area here, and then you click on view voyages here. And as you can see, we've literally got like 5 pages of every part of our program. Basically, what we've done is said to Yield, hey, we want to get travel agents away on the program. And they've gone through and given us a list by cabin, by departure, by cruise that you can get. And this program, it goes right out to October or November of this year. We only used to do 90 days, but now this has gone right out. So that's probably the #1 area if you want to get on a fam, is to go into that part of the Advisor Hub. Then, yeah, let me show you the solo piece if I can. So you would go back to the actual website. Whoops, a daisy, hang on. So hit our home button here, and then see the specials area here? You want to hit that and scroll down to the reduced single supplement, which is that here. And what this does is draws you up, again, see this list, it's enormous, Joe. All these. And
all of the different itineraries.
Yeah, and see what I was trying to say about the percentage, see on the right there? So this is 119%. So they're not the 0 ones, but if you go through the list, there's a whole list, you'll find the 0 ones as well, like it's enormous. But what we've tried to do is really extrapolate out this opportunity to discount as much as we can on that program. And again, I think if you've got a solo market or interest out there, you should really try and book a 15-minute or 30-minute appointment with me so we can focus on a group to sell to your single travelers as well.
Perfect. And just to confirm, those prices all on the screen were in USD, correct?
Yes, yes, we're all in USD here. Is my audience Canadian as well?
I'm not sure. I can't see the location, but you go ahead and speak to. Oh, yep, we've got one attendee from Canada.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that and whoever that is should reach out to me because I'll put you in touch with the lovely Andrea up in Canada. We've got a dedicated rep there. She's fantastic. I'm just putting my details back up on the screen.
Perfect. They were
Yeah,
asking for
and
that.
Canadian pricing is coming because I know that's the next question, and I know that Andrea always gets it. So yes, if that person wants to email me, I'll connect you with Andrea. She'd love to help you out.
Perfect. We've got a couple more attendees chiming in saying that they're from British Columbia and Canadian. So we have a good group here with you, Ward.
Beautiful.
And just moving on here, thank you for showing the portal. I'm sure that that's going to provide our agents with tons of different resources that they can use to sell to their clients. So what exactly would you say, if you could summarize, what is the ideal client? What are their hobbies? Any age requirements or anything like that that would make them the perfect client for Windstar?
Yeah, exactly. It's the active, adventurous traveler, I think is the way I like to say it. Our age is sort of from 45 to 85, right? But it's so funny, like some of our 55s are more active than any 30-year-old I've ever seen in my life. Okay. So yeah, as you saw with the sports platform, they're very much looking for that. On their day trips, they're often going on, 4 or 5 hour walking tours around town. They might be doing biking tours. They're very active is the word that I like to say. We do have a minimum age, Joe, and thank you for asking the question of 8. So, children under 8 we don't have, and the simple reason for that is we don't have a pediatrician on board. So
So
that's
it's a
why,
safety thing.
yes, safety, thank you. So the doctor only works on 9-year-olds and above. If they need assistance, we hope the doctor doesn't have much to do. But what I do like to say is that there are families, and generational groups that come with us, and there'll be teenagers and college graduates who are making their last trip with their mum and dad. They just need to know, that's I feel the travel advisor's job is paint the expectation that, hey, there's no zip line, there's no raceway, but there's a real cultural immersion here. So to use a cliche, a well-traveled kid it does well on these trips.
Great. It's like a field trip. They get to learn, they get to experience things firsthand. I think that that's
Yes,
great. And for
it is.
those families or clients who may possibly bring a younger kid, so an 8-year-old or a 9 or 10-year-old, are there any, if let's say they don't want to go on the excursion or the parents want to get away from the kids for a little bit, is there anywhere that the kids can go that is specifically dedicated for them?
No, there's no kids club, Joe, and I'm glad you clarified that. No, there's technically no kids club on board, and we don't, not like the bigger lines that have that, awesome kids area and a dedicated child psychologist or counselor. No, we don't have that.
Got it. Okay, and that's completely okay. I'm just
Yeah,
glad
it,
that
it,
kids are welcome aboard.
absolutely. And like I said, I've met some kids and families when I've been on there, and because they know I'm from the company, I go up and just say, hey, I'm just curious, can you tell me about, your kids' experience? And I asked them, I said, is this a good trip? How are you going with your parents? They go, yeah, we love it because mum and dad said what it was going to be about. And they told us we were going to do cultural immersion. We're going to swim off the back of the boat. We were going to go into town and learn stuff. And so as long as the expectations laid out, that they have a great time.
I think that that's really good advice and very, very, very a good tip for our agents there when selling to families.
Yep, yeah, absolutely.
And Ward, could you go to I know that you spoke a little bit about the excursions and they're a little bit different and unique to Windstar. They're not like what you see on, like you said, on the bigger cruise lines. So you did speak about the restaurants on board and you said that there's no reservations and it's more of like a come as you are, right?
That's right, exactly. So what we want to do is really encourage the independent or respect the independent nature of our travelers. They like to dine at their own time, at their own leisure. They don't want to have an assigned table and a seat and sit next to the same people and have the same servers every night. We just want it to feel like a restaurant. So like I said, with Amphora, you know, the main dining room, it opens at 6. We don't take reservations until you start lining up. So if you want the very best seat in the house, just get there at 6 and then they'll seat you. But because it's a 200-seat restaurant for 300, it very rarely fills up. And then, like I said, the menu changes every day, so there's a lot of variety. And we don't close the restaurant until the last person's left. You know what I mean? There's no, there's no set time. With the Quadro, the 44, which is our signature restaurant, no upcharge, but our, you know, only 30 people. You do need to get a reservation when you're on board. But what we do is we know that, you know, people will get at least once on their trip, because we won't have Mr. and Mrs. Smith. We won't let them come 4 nights in a row. You know what I mean?
Yes, so they can't take all the good seats every day.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
because there's no reservations, which I think is an interesting take on the dining rooms, let's say that there is a group on board and they want to have a special occasion, whether it be a birthday or some type of celebratory dinner or meal. How do they go about, since you don't take reservations, how would they go about planning that with you all?
Yeah, it's a bit tricky. As you saw in the group program, what we do, if you sell those 8 people into a group, I'm just going to bring the slide up again, you actually get this complimentary cocktail party, which is that moment where we basically say to your group, and I'm just, you know, just say David and Sarah are travel agents leading a group, and they've got a group of 12 people. We will host them at their complimentary cocktail party, generally just before dinner. And then we will say, hey, where do you want to dine tonight? And we'll take them to the restaurant and have them seated. The problem with us is we don't have like 20-seat tables. You know, the maximum we would have is 8. So you'd have a group of 8, and then you'd have a little 4 right next door to it. But the general manager is always notified that the group's on there, and the group leader will meet them. So they'll have that cocktail party, and then they'll be walked to dinner and, you know, sat down. But we won't make it a 20-seat table. We will just clump them together. Does that make sense?
Yes, so that everyone's still together, but everyone's at their own table.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. And I know what I got excited was about the discovery events. I think you had shown one that was in Turkey.
Yep.
And you said that that's on every itinerary. And is that announced as kind of like a surprise, but we just are expected to know that there would be a discovery event? Or do the agents get to see what discovery event is planned for that specific itinerary ahead of time?
It is the latter. We do know in advance what it's going to be. So we'll put it on there. I'm just trying to get back to that slide here. Where did
All
it
the
go?
pictures look great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. Yeah, so this is just that example on the Treasure of the Greek Isles, one of our really popular sailings where we go into Turkey and we just take the whole boat, basically, of people up to here. And we, like I said, it's only us. Those people you see in the front are just dining. Now, the other example of this is in Tahiti. We actually have our own motu or island between Bora Bora and Raiatea. And what that means is on that particular day, we actually just open up the water sports platform. We take everyone over to the island, and there they'll have their lunch there. They'll be able to snorkel. They'll be able to kayak. They'll be able to stand up paddleboard, and they can even get a massage on the beach there if they want to. It's fantastic. And that's what we call a Windstar discovery event, because, you know, we actually just populate that island on our own for the day. The other example is in Iceland. We get into Sledisfjord, which is this gorgeous little fishing village, and the whole ship gets walked up into this beautiful old church, and we have some local artisans who are doing some entertainment, talking about the culture, singing some fun comedic songs almost. And then we walk next door to a co-op where there's beer and wine, all made locally, and some hors d'oeuvres. And so, you know, that's our welcoming event to the town, and then people go off on their own. So yes, there'll always be one of those events. But what I wanted to elaborate, if I could, Joe, is I'm going back to the itinerary here, because I do want to explain our shore excursions over and above that. So as I said, those inclusions will be on the program. But when it comes to, what do we call it, special interest, and I wanted to show you here, we are in Tahiti, so Bora Bora, one of the most beautiful places on earth. And as you can see, each day on this side, we've got like how many tours are available. So here in Bora Bora, there's 14. Now, see, clients can go and do a scuba dive if they're that inclined. They can go and do a four-wheel drive safari on the land. They can do all these tours. And what we've done here is given very detailed information here for the clients to book this online themselves, okay? Now, because these shore excursions that are done by third-party operators are not commissionable. Your commission is on the cruise and the food and the hotel room on the boat, okay? But when it comes to these, what I call special interest tours that we want to offer, the client books it themselves on here. You can direct them here once you've made the booking, because as you can see, we've got fantastic information about exactly what's in the tour. But then they'll book it on here and do a transaction directly with that third party. And I'll be very honest, the reason for this is, as you can imagine, if the clients book this trip, but then they meet Mr. and Mrs. Davidson at dinner, and they want to go on the glass bottom boat with them, they're going to cancel this at 2 a.m. in the morning US time, and you don't want to be dealing with that as a travel advisor. You want the people on the boat, there's a destination desk, they're going to deal all that transaction with them, okay? And that's why we try and take the travel advisor out of that process, because our clients are discerning and they do change their minds.
And I'm glad that you all are flexible and keep that in mind in terms of scheduling, and just changes happen.
Exactly, and you're right. And look, and I'll tell a personal story. I went to Iceland. We were booked on 3 whale tours for different days, but because of weather, we didn't get onto them. We had to do other things. So there is going to be changing that happens, and we'd rather have that be managed by the people that are there in the right time zone than trying to get you out of bed at 2 a.m. in the morning to fix it.
There's not many things that I would get out of bed for at 2 a.m. And thank you for showing us the different excursions. And I think that definitely is a drawing point, that you all offer something a little bit different than what they might find on different cruise lines. So that's great to know.
Yeah.
And last question here, just regarding, just to stay on Turkey and the different events that you have on the different itineraries, what would you say are your top 2 favorite destinations?
Yeah, I have to say, for me, Tahiti personally, Joe, I've been there 7 times, and the place never.
That's your favorite.
And look, and that's not just a company line because it is our most popular. It's just literally true. Before I went, everyone said this Bora Bora place is the most beautiful place on earth. I'm like, can't be. I'm from Australia. We've got the best place on earth. And no, I was proven wrong. It really is it's just this dramatic expansion of these gorgeous little islands that all have something a little different to them. You're not repeating the same place. You go there and there's something just culturally a little different. The people are a little different in each place. So the variety and the ability to get around, and of course a cruise is the best way to do it. If you're doing it FIT, you have to fly to these little islands or take a really long ferry ride between your hotel stays. And I must say, what we can do is we can substitute a night on the boat in one of these gorgeous bungalows. I think my screen's still showing.
Yep.
These bungalows, we can substitute a night out on the program for you to go and stay in these, because we know that's what people want to do. So that's why I love this program. There's so much to do. The variety there is unbelievable. And then my second one is a complete contrast, and it was the Iceland trip. I think our ships get into these smaller ports that the others just can't get to. And we were amazed when we were coming into that. I mentioned Sir Lettersford. It's a hard name to say, but going there, we went past 3 big cruise ships that were launched out, and they were doing all the tendering, and we just hovered in, went down the alleyway, I call it, and parked right in front of the village. So, I think we really do have the best ability to see these, these fjords in a very different way.
Yeah, it's a little bit more intimate. It's a smaller ship. You get into places that maybe a lot of people won't be able to see.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and just staying on that, now that we're talking about the different ship sizes, could you speak about any accommodations that Windstar has created or has made for people who may have disabilities or who may need extra access or help in terms of accessibility?
Yeah, it's a great question, and thank you for bringing it up. So, as a cruise line and touching US soil, we have one trip that touches US soil, which is a Boston to Montreal trip, okay? And why I'm saying that is that means we have to abide by ADA regulations. Now, again, being an active, more adventurous cruise line, we do meet that requirement, but we have to say that we can take people with the ADA requirements, but there are limitations, and it is on a case-by-case basis. And what that means is some of the ports, like not in the US, but say in the Caribbean, we get there and there's not infrastructure to get to properly manage a wheelchair. So what we actually have, Joe, is we have what we call an access desk, which is we ask the travel agent to qualify which itinerary the client wants to go on, and then we will do a day-by-day audit for them to say, hey, look, this is what's going to happen on this day. When you get into this port, there is going to be a 4-foot platform going at 45 degrees. Can you handle that with the wheelchair? Will there be a carer there? Can we do it? So what I'm saying is we can do it with limitations, but on a case-by-case basis. We really like to know, I suppose like anything, Joe, we don't want to be blindsided with someone turning up with a wheelchair and then having a really bad time. But if we can know the cruise that they exactly what they want to do, we will do what we call an ADA audit for them and show them the limitations and see if they want to make that trip.
So that they can commit to it, knowing all the pieces to the puzzle, basically.
Correct. Because as you know, you and I don't want the pitfalls of them getting there and having this dream destination to be in Aruba and realize, oh, they can't get off the boat to go and, see the pink flamingos or whatever they want to see that day.
No, for sure. And while we're on the topic of accessibility, could you just talk about accessibility on board in terms of the rooms and the showers and just navigating the ship itself?
Yep, great. So to do that, my screen's still showing, right? Yep. So here on the website, we have this awesome deck plan of all of our ships. So that's the Windsurf. I'll go to the most popular one, which is hitting the wrong buttons here, the Star class. Because might I suggest that if you do have let's say a wheelchair client, the Star class, which is the private motor yachts, do have more accessibility than the sailing ships, okay? And on this map here, you can see we've listed very clearly which rooms that the clients will be in. So they can go and then have a look at this room number and then go and have a look at the photos online of the room. But I can show you that these handicap rooms are basically where we've adjusted the bathrooms to be able to have the wheelchairs in. The wheelchairs can also get into close to the beds and close to the balconies if they're in the balcony rooms as well. Now, the wheelchairs won't go out onto the balcony fully. That's very important to note. But from here, any of these rooms that are on there do look like what I showed on here. Either being that one, our oceans view suite, or the balcony. But as I mentioned, and thank you for allowing me to go deep here, Joe, see the balcony there? That's 40 inches. So not all wheelchairs, well, you can open the door and obviously get the fresh air and look out, but not all wheelchairs will fit fully out on the balcony.
And I think that's really important. So thank you for sharing that with our agents today.
Yeah, but here's where they can. I just wanted to go up.
So there is something for everyone here.
Exactly. If you're in the Grand Owner's Suite, you can put 4 wheelchairs out there on the on the balcony.
Amazing. And we do have a question here just regarding the sell one, sail one slide that you had spoke about earlier.
Yes. So what we did, and it is in limited availability, and it sold like hotcakes, as you could imagine. It was on that program that I mentioned, our brand new Winter Med, which is happening now, January to through to March. And what we did is basically say, if you sold a cabin in this time, And again, we are coming to the end of this. I think we've got probably 3 more sailings. They finish in March. If you sold one, you could get a cabin on that same ship on then that same date or anytime during this period. Now, it is subject to availability, of course, but it is certainly very enticing to get going. Now, we are going to, I don't know if we're relaunching that for next year at the moment. So if you sold a 2025, I'm not sure, but this was the deal that has been going and is currently on at the moment.
That is a great, great promotion. And thank you for sharing that slide again.
No worries.
And just to wrap up here, we do have about 8 minutes left. If you want to share, I guess, just any closing remarks, any pointers or tips or any contact information with our attendees, Ward, I think this would be the great time for it.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so I thought we had to finish at 45. That's why I was wondering why you're giving me all this extra time, but thank you.
No, you've got the full hour, yeah.
Oh, no worries. I didn't realize. I thought we had to be off there, so I was going a bit quicker. But yeah, great. Look, here's my information. Again, I encourage you to reach out to me. Those states are the ones that I, physically get around to. But then we have other reps that I can put you in touch with. So please reach out. But to your question, this is my #1 success factor with Windstar, and I mentioned it with I call it the Veronica story, where Veronica was a travel agent who I met and worked with in my old job, and she came and said, "What, I really want to go and do an anniversary trip." And in that discussion, we said, "Well, do you want to set up a group?" And Veronica said, "Yeah, I might as well. Well, probably no one will come." But like I said, 42 of her best friends are going now. So my advice to be successful is have a look through our entire embarkation program, which is it's out through 26. Choose a destination. Like I said, you've heard my favorites, Tahiti or Iceland are the ones. Or probably my third is the Treasures of the Greek Isles, going through Santorini and all those beautiful places there, and obviously Esferus in Turkey there as well. Just choose a program that you want to go on, and I'll work with you to obviously get the group set up. So, and if you sell enough, you'll get your free room to go in, or we can do a fam rate for you on there. If that sailing is on the fam list, then you just get your travel agent rate, and then you just invite people on with your group rate, and then it just swells from there. And like I said, people say, I don't know how to be successful. The best way to be successful is choose what you want to do and have your audience follow you. It's just such a really simple formula. And like I said, this doesn't cost a lot of marketing money. Like even with Veronica, we didn't put any money in marketing. She just sent out an email to her database saying, "Hey, me and my husband are going on our 20th anniversary to Tahiti. Would you like to join us?" And then Veronica and I did a webinar similar to this, but where I just focus on Tahiti, and I, go through the itinerary day by day and just see, say what's going on and answer all the questions and stuff. And that was our promotional tool, which didn't cost us any hard cash. So, and of course, you're giving an enormous discount to your clients that they won't get directly off the shelf.
Thank you again, Ward, for your time this afternoon. I know that the attendees all have been thanking you for the great presentation, answering all their questions, and providing them with just information that they might not have known about previous to joining our webinar today. So I just want to just express our appreciation for you and for Windstar and everything that you all do for the cruise line industry. And I hope that everyone has a great day, and we will see you all next time on our webinars.
Thank you, Joe. We appreciate you creating an audience for us. So thank you for your hard work.
Of course, I'm here to support you all. Well, with that, everybody have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week.
Bye.
Bye.